All right, what is going on? Welcome into the A Sea of Red Liberty basketball post-game show. Unfortunately, the end of the road for Liberty, at least in terms of keeping the string alive of consecutive NCAA tournament appearances, and in the ASUN as Liberty falls 53-50 to Bellarmine. Just Liberty went ice cold here in the ASUN tournament. The issue all year was defense. Liberty played two fantastic defensive games and just went ice cold. And man, it stinks. It happens. Liberty's kind of been, fortunate and done well the last couple years. Not to have any these tournament games where you do go ice cold, but fortunately this time it did happen. We're gonna go live to Liberty Arena post-game reaction with Ritchie McKay at the podium. As you see there on the screen, as soon as that happens. Well, I don't know what else to say, man. What was your thoughts on this one?
Man, yeah, we've said all year that Liberty's defense will keep them in a game. But if you didn't shoot, sometimes your defense is not good enough to win you a game. And these conference tournaments every game is close. And Darius, 21 points, but as great as he is, he can't do everything. So Brody stepped up for a time there. He really did not play much of a factor going down the stretch in the second half. Nobody else but Darius played a factor in going down the stretch in the second half when we needed somebody to step up. So as great as Darius is, he can't do everything. You're muted.
Sorry, not on my A game right now.
You're not the only one.
I'm sure some people might look at this and say, Darius maybe played a little too hero ball. I mean, sure. I think maybe there was some times he settled for some, shots that were maybe a little bit too contested. But no one else was hitting a shot. And, you have to try to get something going. And, it just was, a really difficult time of the year. I mean, Liberty was one of the best 3-point shooting teams. I don't know where they were coming in. Thinking they were third at one point, like a week or two ago in the entire country. And in a 3-point percentage, and just went ice cold in these two games. So I don't know. It happens, and not much that you can do about it. Checking in on our scoreboard. Jacksonville actually does lead Jacksonville State 23-18 at halftime. And it looks like we are set to go live with Ritchie McKay. Oh. Give me just a second here. Just a second here, trying to get the mic working there for the press conference. So stand by with us. All right. Well, sorry about that. We'll see if we can get that working for here in a minute or so. We'll talk a little bit more about this game, in the defensive effort. I thought, man, just Liberty played a good game. Shiloh Robinson had some really, really good defensive plays. Isaiah Warfield. We'll talk a little bit about Brody Peebles because that's probably the biggest takeaway, from this game was Brody stepping up, scoring 10 points when the Flames really needed it. Definitely kind of a positive as we, look towards next year kind of at this point.
Yeah, he definitely gave them a spark. When Kyle Rode got hurt there, and Liberty just came out really just ice cold, not hitting anything, and defense wasn't hitting on all cylinders. McKay took that time out, and when they came back out, they had much better ball movement. Guys were running everywhere off the court, and it opened up things for somebody else to score, and that was Brody. And we really didn't see that kind of offense in the second half at all. I don't think that point where we were down, I don't know what it was, like 14-3 or something crazy like that. And we came back on like a 12-0 run. Brody was, a big part of that first half and just did not get there the second half. I would have liked to have seen him more in just to see if there was anything he could do, kind of having the hot hand in the first half, just to give some relief to Darius.
Yeah, and just, kind of looking through the box score a little bit here, CJ Fleming was 3 of 12 from the field. Dylan Penn, I know he had a couple huge shots at the end. He was only 9 for 23 from the field.
Yeah.
So,
he just hit the ones that mattered the most, I think.
Yeah, and Liberty, just couldn't hit anything. So it's tough. I'm sure if you would have told Ritchie, that Bellarmine would score, 0.91 points per possession, Penn would be 9 of 23, Fleming would be 3 of 12. They would shoot 5 for 17 from 3, under 40% from the field. I'm sure he would have been feeling, great about this one, and yeah, unfortunately it just I guess wasn't in the cards this year. What's next for Liberty? I'm not entirely sure. I know I think there's only one of the postseason tournaments left. Outside of the NCAA tournament, NIT, Liberty would definitely not be an NIT candidate. Unfortunately, if they would have beat Jacksonville State in the regular season, they would have clinched that right now. So that, man, that stinks. That would have been, at least a nice consolation. Not sure if Liberty will get in. I mean, I would think, 22-11. Liberty does have a really high profile player in Darius McGee. I would think they would definitely be under some consideration. I'm not entirely sure if Liberty would even want to do a tournament. Sometimes teams just say, you know what, hey, we had a long year. I definitely think it would be good for, guys like Brody and Van Zant and, some of these other guys, maybe to get some more minutes, now that, the season, it definitely felt like the rotation really got trimmed, down here the last couple weeks. And so, yeah, I don't know what else to say. I'm sorry that we, I'm sorry that it looks like we're not able to bring you the audio from the post-game press conference. Was really hoping we could get that for you. But there's a nice shot of them there at the podium. So yeah, I'm sorry about that, folks.
As far as postseason is concerned, we don't know if we don't even know if there's going to be a CIT. I don't think I've seen anything announced about there being a CIT this year. I checked their Twitter feed not long ago, and I didn't see anything about it. So who knows? But we do have a connection there. We've been to the Final Four of that tournament in the last, 8-9 years or so. The CBI I think it would be our best chance, and just hopefully with that 22-11 record and beating some pretty decent teams earlier in the non-conference, that gives us a shot at that tournament.
Yeah. So, well, unfortunately a bummer, definitely before we get out of here, do want to talk about Darius McGee. Not entirely sure if his career is over. He does have the option of returning. Definitely has a lot of potential to play professional basketball somewhere. And would have no ill will at all if he decided to go that way. But what a career from Liberty. I mean, I think he definitely cemented himself as, the best all-time player. He's definitely the best 1, 2, or 3 in that range for sure. Just, what a remarkable career. And, there's never going to be another player like Darius McGee. There's just not, not with his skill set and what he was able to do. You got any other thoughts on Darius, Will?
Yeah, so I tweeted this during the game, but I've been a long time proponent of Larry Blair being the greatest Liberty player. Walk that one back tonight. Darius McGee is the greatest Liberty player. So I hope he comes back. I hope he has a little bit of a chip on his shoulder and wants to, climb a little bit higher in the all-time scores for Liberty. But like you said, can't blame him if he decides to move on. Can't blame him at all, and wish him the best.
Yeah, well, it looks like we've gotten our mic worked as Bellarmine's about to take the stage. So I guess we'll go ahead and play it. Why the heck not? If you don't want to watch, just tune off. I don't blame you if you don't want to, but we do have this option, and I'm sure there's some people who would want to hear the press conference. Huge win for them and their program. We like to poke fun and have fun with some rivalries. But hey, this was a team that just transitioned from Division II 2 years ago, and they're going to be playing in the ASUN championship, even though they're not eligible for the tournament. This is a huge win for them in their program. So congrats to them, and they played a heck of a defensive effort tonight. So I don't. It doesn't look like they're started yet. I don't see Davenport yet. So we'll hold off just a second.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, Nick. I feel bad about the rule that they are not eligible to compete in the NCAA tournament. I think that stinks. And last year we were the beneficiary of that. Jacksonville State, as long as they hold on and Jacksonville doesn't, go and win Tuesday, Jacksonville State will be the beneficiary of that. So I hate it for them. They played a good game. Dylan Penn was clutch, those last few minutes. And just you got to tip your hat to Bellarmine. They weren't at their best, and they called us when we definitely weren't at our best.
Yeah, absolutely. And also wanted to make sure we took a second to say something about Keegan McDowell. Also had a really incredible career for Liberty. A guy that had transferred out and came back, and what a season he had. Unfortunately, wasn't I'm sure the way that he wanted to end it. But yeah. So we're going to come right back here with a post-game press conference from Bellarmine. We'll play that here live in just a minute. But first, here's a word from Jason Porter.
Hey, everybody. My name is Jason Porter. I'm with Legacy Realty and Development, and it's been a great partnership here with Sea of Red lately. I was with Liberty Athletics as the Associate Athletic Director for Sports Medicine, so took care of all of the healthcare needs and coordinated that with a fantastic staff at Liberty in the athletic department, of course, for about 5 or 6 years, and then moved into real estate full time and with Legacy Realty and Development. And it's just been a great pleasure to continue to stay connected with my Liberty University family and the athletics family as well. Been enjoying serving them. A lot of the graduate assistants and some of the staff that I hired has come back now and has been using me for residential services, which I really appreciate. But certainly do residential real estate as far as buying and selling of homes, of course. And then also we have a strong commercial presence as well. So commercial real estate, obviously a very, very different animal than is residential. But whether it's buying and selling commercial properties or just the leasing of properties, we can help with that as well. So it's been a great opportunity to service our commercial clients as well. And then certainly on the investment front too, a number of folks who have discovered the power of passive income through real estate and investing in real estate with rental properties or fix and flips, those kind of things. And so great joy to serve my clients in that capacity as well. The other thing that I would add too is just a very, very full Rolodex.
All right, it looks like they're just about to go live with the press conference. Here is the Bellarmine postgame press conference.
So you make the statement, not me. You do it. I want to listen to you.
See, we got one more win. We got one more game. It's the most important thing right now.
You know, guys, all I say to the team after the game, Dylan, you can ask me. But tell them what I say after the game. 2 words.
Thank you.
That's all I said. Some of you all be familiar. One of the tremendous coaches of all time, Skip Prosser, that was at Wake Forest and coach at Xavier. He built, 17 years ago, we built one of the cornerstones of this program was never delay gratitude. You walk out of a class, you reach out to a professor, just say, thank you very much. It's like 2.6 seconds. Why not? And all I said to the team after the game was thank you. Let's go through. Bar Gulf Coast at 120. We know how good they are. That was ended at 9 o'clock on Thursday. Ice baths, hydration. We were scheduled to start film at 10 o'clock Friday. 9:15, everybody already on the court? It's just not done. We started film early, practice, bus, 8.5 hours. Dinner last night, more film last night. Film this morning, walk through, and lose to one of the most classiest, thorough, well-coached program, any level in this country. Don't just say ASUN, any level in this country. There's a reason why they've only lost 2 games in this building prior to today. There's a reason why they have those banners. And it starts at the top with class. That was an epic college basketball game. That game should be put on I'm not saying it was a thing of beauty, but in terms of playing the game from a respect level, it was incredible. I mean, Darius McGee, our players are so tired of hearing about him. And did I talk more about Kyle Rowe than Darius?
You might have. We talked way more about Darius.
I mean, it's hard to say. But really, I said it the other night, I'll say it again. When you look at the big picture of teams transitioning in Division II to Division I, this isn't done. I mean, this is not done. And it's all the credit goes to them. All the credit goes to those players. Playing without a starter. You know, Alec Frink, we want him to get better. He had to have a COVID test because he's having surgery on Thursday on his hip, Wednesday, excuse me. An unbelievable young man. And you all that don't know me here, a lot of questions in society right now. There's a lot of them. And we're going to be okay. And the reason? It's because these young people, I'm not the answer. These young people, they're the answer. They are. And we got to invest in them. They're the answer. I got a little 3.5-year-old granddaughter, Rena. She needs these guys. Popsy's not the answer. He's going to get her whatever she wants. Don't worry. But we need these guys. That's why we've got to keep this sports thing, bringing people together. Go ahead. Tell what you got. You want to talk? Okay, questions?
Dylan, I was going to ask you, I mean, Liberty would switch Robinson, Vincent, Warfield off. You made it difficult, but a couple of those shots off hand, off balance. I mean, was there any doubt in your mind those were going in depth down the stretch?
You know, ever since I've been little, I had a coach when I was in 4th and 5th grade say, when the game gets tight, you know, you got to live for that moment. So whenever I attack the basket, you know, if you miss, you miss. But I'm going in there, I'm going to be aggressive and late in the game. It's something I've been doing for a long time. It's just, you know, coach came to a game and I was saying, hey, when the game's on the line, I'm going to attack and I'm trying to make that last shot because I want to win the game for my team.
Coach, that shot that he made there in the final minute to give you guys the lead that you held on to, looked like there was great coverage on him from, I think it was Shiloh at that time. Have you seen that difficult of a shot, him make one like that?
To your point, and I'm just doing this to help. Earlier this year against
Central Arkansas.
Dylan scored 38 in Freedom Hall. We broke him down. He was 16 out of 18 left-handed. No. He was 6 out of 18 right-handed.
I made
6 of 8
right
right-handed.
8 out of 10 and 10 out of 12 with each hand. That's a problem to call. Yes, he had a total. He had a total of 38. And I mean, he's the most dynamic player I've ever coached. Yeah, that's a bold statement. Coaching NBA players at Louisville, high school, coach players and 24 pros at Bellarmine. He's the most dynamic player I've ever coached. But that's a part of it. If we run a free throw in practice because we missed one, so everybody runs, he's winning. You win every one of them. You tell Dylan Penn, Dylan, this class, look, Dylan, this is tough. Just be happy with a B minus, C plus, B. This is tough, Dylan. Write it down. He's going to get a B. His level of personal pride, it is such a credit to his mother and his grandmother. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And he's special.
With Liberty scoring in the 90s, 80s, to end the regular season, and then they come out first game of the postseason, only scoring 52, 53. What did you expect tonight? Did you expect the high end or the low end, or didn't know what to expect?
Experience teaches you as these games go up. Teams one are more familiar, and things tend to get a little more conservative, you know, because the stakes increase. But the way the game started, I thought it was going to be a shootout. And then the game changed to a possession type game. I think it's a credit to both teams' defense. I don't think it was by design. I know it wasn't on our end. I think it's just a credit to their defense, and then we had to match that with our defense.
Dylan, on Tuesday, you guys get to play, you know, for a championship, but you don't get to play an NCAA tournament. How much does the game mean for you guys on Tuesday night?
It means a lot to us because, you know, we can't play in the tournament, but we can still play for NIT bid, and that's something we can't control. But we can control our effort, our energy going into this game on Tuesday, and that's what we're looking forward to. You know, we just transitioned from Division II to Division I, and Coach said, you know, this isn't normal. Like a lot of teams don't make this transition the way we have, so we really want to go out there and compete and show everybody we belong at this level.
Scott, 6 of 24 Liberty from 3-point range. Darius McGee was 3 of 12. Was that you? Was that them? How do you explain?
You know, I was asked that same question Thursday night. Sometimes they go in, sometimes they don't. We hit 14 out of 31 on Thursday night. And we shoot 33 on the year. Sometimes it's just that simple. Don't outthink it. I mean, you know, they're that good. I know this. It was a huge point of emphasis to our team. It was. We break down games like everybody does, and we know, you know, you have to defend a 3-point line. I mean, look at our last game. Look at 2 last year when they were playing for the championship. I can remember 15 out of 25, just so you know. That's still etched in my mind forever. I'm scarred forever in Freedom Hall on national TV. Obviously, it was a big emphasis, but sometimes, you know, sometimes it comes down to shot selection, sometimes it comes down to defense. You got to break down the film every single shot to be able to define that. It's not just an easy answer. They're too good. They hit them all year. I mean, they hit them all year.
Coach, with this being your first trip to Liberty with the program, how do you feel like your players handled the experience just with all the fans super loud tonight?
I loved it. Did you do it?
Yeah, it was a great atmosphere, and it's always fun to play in front of people versus last year where there were times we played with no fans at all.
I had 5 students out there just to stop me when I did radio and shake my hand and say, congratulations, that's a great game. That's long after I did the radio. Some of the places we've been, I wasn't quite received like that. Neither were players. And I understand. It's okay. I want people to care. This was knowledgeable. I'll answer the question. This was knowledgeable. This was class. This was, and I'd have said that we got beat. Call people in Louisville if you know anybody asked. I would have said we got beat. This was class.
Dylan, you guys had that 9 minutes scoreless drought at the end of the first half. Liberty then got to 10 early in the second half. The response you guys made going on a 10-0 run in 4 positions, how key was that to not let Liberty just run away with it?
It was a turning point in the game. We have 4 seniors, grad students, whatever you want to call them, that have been in the program, and we understand, and we played in big games, and we understand, there's going to be ups and downs, high lows. It's a game to run, so you just got to stay calm, confident, and poised, and trust in what you do and trust in our game plan. And I feel like we did that to a good extent, and that was able to get us back into the game and ultimately finish the game.
Coach, you guys got the ASUN championship coming up now. It's either Jacksonville or Jacksonville State. What do the next 72 hours look like in getting ready for whoever you're going to face?
Be very consistent. I mean, you can a non-one or Gonzaga, UCLA, Purdue. Dylan will tell you do everything the same. We prepare exactly the same. Very good. That's by me, in my opinion. That's the definition of a program. You hear the word in sports a lot, culture. A program means you have a plan, and we have a plan. From ice baths tonight, hydration, wherever we end up going tomorrow. Now, that's a program. By definition, that's a plan. Dylan mentioned it, and you guys all, this is a brag. I'm going to touch on what they're doing is incredible. There's 5 seniors. They will leave Bellarmine with 8 degrees. Why can't you do both? 8 degrees. That's why we're going to be okay. I'm in that locker room with them every day. That's why we're going to be okay. Them, every day, I get to go coach them. It's not I have to go coach them. There's a big difference. And I try to create that environment by taking care of these players, putting them first in every regard, that they get to go practice. They get to go work out. They get to get in that weight room instead of they have to go. It's a big difference. If you approach everything in your life like that, show me somebody that loves their job. I'll show you somebody pretty good at it. Somebody who hates their job, probably a miserable person, probably not very good at it. And that's the program we try to create. Is that good?
Very good.
Any more? Because I'll preach on if you guys watch out.
By the way, WLKY is says that.
Oh, are you going to sit down?
Yes.
All right, there we go.
That was the longest press conference I have ever heard.
I didn't know if we should cut it off or what. I was like, yeah.
Oh, man.
Let's just let it go.
John and Chad, if you guys are watching, get his card so I can invite him to come to revival at church. Good gracious, that guy could be a preacher. He was firing me up. I was getting ready to open my Bible or something. I didn't know what I was about to do.
Yeah, I mean, hey, soak it in. It's a big moment for them.
Golly.
They deserve it. Take all the podium time you need. I didn't realize that they could go to the NIT. I think now I remember it. Now that he said it, they can go to the NIT if they win the game on Tuesday. So that's interesting.
I don't care where they go as long as somebody gives Scott Davenport an interview. He's the coach of the year, right? Did he win coach of the year?
No, it was Harper from Jacksonville State.
Oh, well.
I think he was co-coach of the year with Ritchie last year.
Well, he talked his way into that. I'm just telling you.
Yeah. We do have a big piece of information that was said during the press conference. We apologize for not being able to bring it to you with having some sound difficulties. But Coach McKay said that Liberty has been invited to 2 postseason tournaments, so I guess there are 2 that are going on.
Okay.
But the team has not decided whether to play or not.
Well, I
So
hope they do. I hope they play because I don't want this to be the last that we see.
yeah, it'd be a tough way to tough taste in the mouth to end the year. Just a team that shot so well all year, just it didn't happen here. So I would totally get if they don't. 2020, 2021 was a brutal year. It was a long year. And this year, certainly had its challenges as well. So look, if they just decided to pack it in, I would understand it. But selfishly, I hope they do. I want to watch this team play again. I know, I know an NC it doesn't feel the same as an NCAA tournament. It's definitely a consolation tournament, but I want to watch this team play basketball again.
I'm guessing if they let the players decide and have a vote, I'm sure they'll be playing.
Yeah, I would think so. And there's also the possibility that maybe you play this and maybe and also I'm just going to say this now. I'm not saying I don't know anything one way or the other, but if Darius McGee decided to sit out of the tournament, by all means, he would have absolutely the right to do that, and I have no problem with that. In some ways, that could be a nice thing to give these other guys a shot to play in some more games, build some momentum. And I don't know if you remember, Will, 2017-18, Liberty won a couple games in, I don't know, one of those tournaments. I know a couple games were on CBS Sports Network. Next year, they won an NCAA tournament game. And I feel like that might have been, a nice extra, learning experience. And so,
That's true.
I mean, I definitely think there's some things that you can take from this. So,
I can't see Darius wanting to sit out. I'm with you. Like if he did, I would understand that. I don't see him doing that by any means. And I'm sure that part of the invitation to those tournaments was you get Darius McGee in your tournament.
That's true. That it very well could be a contingency thing, and I wouldn't blame the tournaments for saying, "Yeah, you want to come, Darius better show up." But also, I mean, look, we saw Darius was kind of limping at times tonight, so for his health, he might, look, he's got a lot of money on the he's got a lot of money on the line in his
and
next
a lot of money on the line, and he is dead tired as well. I mean, it showed a little bit tonight. Like he was just looking tired.
Yeah. So, but yeah, look, it was another fun season, for someone who's been a fan of this program since 05-06. I still think this is probably one of the top 4 teams that I've witnessed play.
Oh, easily.
So,
easily.
Look, it doesn't happen every year. 3 years in a row was ridiculous. You don't win teams. Look, Iona is the only other team in college basketball that's won 3 consecutive tournaments coming into this year. So what they did the last 3 years, it was an incredible accomplishment and something we'll always cherish. And look, I expect them to come right back next year and compete for another one. Any other final thoughts, Will?
Well, Iona has a pretty good coach. I'm not sure if you're aware of that. But so do we. So I'm just looking forward to, I think we'll probably play in one of those tournaments. But if not, I'll be looking forward to the off season and kind of just seeing what happens. I know we've got some dudes, as the baseball team would say, coming in for this next class. And it's baseball season right now.
All right, looks like we got our guy Chad. Chad, if you can hear me, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, I got you guys. Finally, for the first time, I decided not to go back out in the arena. I don't know what was up with not being able to get the mic unmuted for McKay, so we'll have to wait on that post-game presser. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened, but did you guys watch either of the press conferences?
Yeah, we played Scotty Davenport's sermon live on the air.
That was a 3-point sermon.
Yeah, 3-point sermon. So I'm still sitting in here by myself, like kind of sulking. And I'll kind of keep this short, but as a fan blog, that's what John and I are. We're fans, right? And as a fan blog, you walk into the media room and you've got newspapers, you've got radio, you've got these media outlets who basically, win or lose, they're going to ask the same questions. They're going to be set up the same. I mean, it's not anything different. And for John and I, we come over here and we sit down on these two seats and we just kind of sulk and we're like, Coach, what's going on? You know, and it's kind of a unique thing, but I think that, you know, so watching that press conference right here with Davenport was, you know, I mean, he has some good things to say, but you know what that guy must invest in his program outside of the lines must be incredible because he coaches them hard on the court. I mean, he does. He yells. He's in their face. I mean, if I had a grown man talking to me that way and I felt like I was a grown man, I would just not be cool with it. But you know, his players seem to be. I mean, they all love him. So he must be investing something behind the scenes that none of us see, which is probably, you know, the sign of a good coach, and he can coach them that hard. But as far as the game, Liberty Arena, guys, I've said this 3 games in a row, but it was incredible tonight. I don't know how it looked on TV, but it was absolutely like you can go to give me, you know, I went to a Duke UNC game at UNC. I mean, it was loud because there was more people there. But the enthusiasm with people standing the entire last 9 minutes, there wasn't a person sitting down. Everybody was cheering. Davenport even alluded to it in his post game. It was a very smart, intelligent crowd. And for him to say that about a group of Liberty fans who we're really just new to this, honestly. We're still new to, I mean, they are too, but this is our second year. This is our first year in our arena. So we really don't know the ins and outs of everything. So I thought it was a great performance by the crowd, to be honest with you. And in terms of like knowledgeable, knew when the moments were, even after tough moments, like when, like, you know, a very tough moment where we needed a shot and we just completely fell apart. They still stood up and got right back in it for defense. And that's important as a fan base to be able to kind of do that and pick your team up. So I know I've said that 3 games in a row, but I've been, and you guys have too. I've been in and I asked Darius about this tonight. I've been in so many Vine Center games. There was 300 people and they had like 2 people standing on the rail. And there were just like, there was no enthusiasm, no anything to be able to appreciate what happened here tonight in regards of that was pretty incredible. You know, Bellarmine just, you know, they definitely had that. They definitely had that. The game plan was easy to see. They were going into pin in the post all night long. They started going, and he was missing in the first half a lot, you know, and Shiloh was playing good defense, but credit to them. They were only down 4 or 5 at halftime, and they decided to keep going with it. And you could see that they were not going away, especially if they could get Darius in the post, they would go down there. So overall, the fans, incredible. Shout out to, I cannot wait to do this again next year. I know it's kind of crazy, but I'm going to buy my season tickets as soon as they go up on sale because it's going to be, listen, guys, I sold my tickets on Stub. I bought 4. I sold 2 of them on StubHub every single game of this tournament. Well, there's only been 2, but I sold them for more than what I paid for them. Now, tell me as a Liberty fan, that's not the craziest thing you've ever heard, that you sold tickets on StubHub for more than you paid for them, right?
Yeah.
And so that momentum is building up, and it's kind of, we're turning into that place where, and winning has done that. Winning and the culture and everything has done that. But to see how far that's what's been standing out to me. Yeah, we lost. Yeah, it sucks. I don't know if we'll play in a tournament or not. I couldn't get a good read. I think McKay kind of alluded to that it would be a team decision, a group decision if we would play or not. But then he had another comment that basically said the final chapter hasn't been written yet. So I kind of think that they will. I kind of think that they will play. I'm leaning that way. But I guess what sticks out to me the most is our fans. And I just want to say a huge shout out to everybody that comes up to me and John during the game. I mean, it's like 70 people, no lie, that are like, hey, I love a sea of red. I love what you guys are doing. And, you know, dude, that is awesome. I don't really need the pat on the back, and neither does John. That's not our personality. But to just know that we're a part of this community together and what we have been building. And, you know, you guys have been a part of other fan bases before, and you kind of know you don't always get along with the main fan blogs and all of the fans on Twitter. They typically don't get along with the main official accounts of the school, especially when things aren't going well. what we have as a fan base is unbelievable. And it showed tonight, and it showed through this whole tournament to me more than any other time, was just the camaraderie. I mean, you know, I've never met you in real life, Nick. I've met you one time, Will. And here we are, like, you know, doing this thing together, living and dying by our favorite school team, you know, and that's incredible what we've built together as a community. And it kind of stood out to me in the Liberty Arena the last 3 nights. So that's been incredible. It's been really fun. So other than losing, which sucked, you guys have probably already nailed all the percentages and the stats. Basically, we can't shoot the 3 ball for whatever reason. I don't know if we're taking low percentage shots. Keegan, I mean, he was 1 for 5, and he had 3 or 4 that were clean looks that he just completely missed that we all expected to go in. But, you know, that's kind of the game. And I cannot wait to be back in the Liberty Arena next year, even if it's, you know, Wesleyan, Presbyterian, First Holy Trinity Baptist College. I'm going to be here because I love it. I love coming here and eating the popcorn. I love the sounds. I love the video board. I love everything about the experience. And, you know, that's what stood out to me the most about today, was that how far we've come. And both of you, I know, been standing on that old rail at the Vine Center 20 yards away from the court, and you can barely hear what's going on. The sound was horrible. The video production, you break your neck trying to watch. This is an experience that both of you need to get in here and try to get into, and it'll change how you feel about Liberty University and our basketball program, despite winning or losing. So we didn't have the team this year. I've kind of told John, I thought that we relied on Darius too much. It was so eerily similar to what happened with football and Malik. Like, Malik was so head and shoulders above everybody else that we just called plays for him all the time. And it was like he had too big of a burden to carry. And it wasn't because we didn't have talent. I think it was coaching, honestly, in football, just like play calling and whatnot. And you're trying to win that way. I think something similar happened with basketball. I think that we saw the 48. We saw the 42, and then at the end of games, it was like, all right, where's Darius? Where's Darius? Where's Darius? All right, he's shooting this double pump fadeaway 3 for the game whenever we have, you know, and it's not Darius is a legend. He's the GOAT. He's the best of all time. But whenever you put all your eggs in one basket, you're living and dying, not by just the 3-pointer. You're living and dying by whether or not one guy is hitting or not. And I think that's kind of what got us tonight. And it's not going to be a popular take, because, you know, I don't think people understand how I do understand the level of greatness that Darius has, and his percentages are there, and he's brilliant. But this is a 5-man game, and you know, you have to have other guys with confidence to step up and make that shot whenever we need it, and we just didn't have that. And so I think, you know, we'll you guys know, but the Patrick Ewing effect, you take away the best player and the other 5 guys step up. I think that's about what's ready to happen next year. We're taking away this amazing talent, and 5 other guys can step up and do it for us. So I don't know what'll happen next year, but I'm excited to be with the fans. I'm excited to continue to kind of build this momentum we have this community that we have that's so incredible. And yeah, thank you guys very much. I appreciate it.
Well
wow.
said.
Top that, Davenport. Top that.
2 sermons.
Yeah, what
2 sermons tonight.
What you got, Davenport? Let me put this behind me. Take that. What else y'all want?
Chad, are you available? Are you available in September for a revival, buddy?
Yeah, let's go. Hey, I'm going to pass the offering plates. I'm walking right out of here and start passing the offering plates right now. All right. You guys have a great night.
You too, buddy.
Thanks, Chad.
Hey, he ain't wrong on some of that stuff.
Yeah, no, and I definitely want to chime in on the crowd, because there's been some times this year where I've only watched games on TV where I hear, oh, the crowd's so great, and I'm like, it is not coming through on the TV at all.
Yeah, you're right.
But tonight it was
was different.
It was loud and clear. You could tell it was a different atmosphere and a different energy, and the crowd was awesome. And you know, even with, you know, Liberty only scoring 50 points, which never happens, except for the last 2 games. The crowd was still into it and trying to will the team back. And so, yeah, a lot of props to the crowd. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I'm with you. And LFSN, they know exactly where to put those boundary mics, because there were at times you could hear like individual people and some of the things that they were saying. And especially when it was directed towards the referee, I loved it. But yeah, I'm with you. Like at times this year, people are talking about how loud it is, and it didn't really come across that way on TV. I mean, you could tell the fans were into it, but it wasn't anything like watching a Duke home game or anything like that. But tonight it was loud.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I guess we'll wait and see, what's next for Liberty. As always, my final take, then I'll pass it off to you if you got anything else, Will. My final take is just, look, I'm proud of this team as I've been for the last, several years. Proud of how far this program has come. Proud of the way that they represent the school, as someone who's from afar, and I don't want to go too far into this, but hasn't always been pleased with every, ounce of publicity that comes out about the school. The basketball team has been a shining light for the school, and always, I feel like, represents the school in the absolute best way. Not saying there's other people that don't. I'm not trying to take away from anyone else, but the basketball team in particular has just been such a great representation for everything that we believe in, and yada yada yada. But Will, any other things from you before we get out of here?
Yeah, that was well said. I mean, we've had some knuckleheads in leadership for sure. But nobody could follow this program and have the same kind of judgment about Liberty just by looking at this program than looking at all the other stuff sometimes. So just shout out to Coach McKay, to staff. We're still here. We still support you guys. Tough loss, but we know that we are not what we used to be. And so we are still happy about that. And still thankful for all that this program does and has done. And Stephen Gonzalez, great representative for the basketball program, and has helped us out with the podcast and some other stuff as well. And so just thanks to the Liberty basketball team for a great season to follow along with.
Absolutely. As someone who's over 400 miles away from Liberty, it's just been so fun this year to connect with so many people that really care about this program. It's been a lot of years where I felt like I was like the only dude that actually cared about this team, and the only person.
Man, I'm telling you. Yeah, I mean, not just football and all the press that Malik has gotten, but I mean, these days I can wear a Liberty shirt out and, people want to talk about sports with me. That has never happened before.
Yeah.
Once in a while you might see somebody, it was like, oh, my cousin went to Liberty or my niece went to Liberty or something like that. But now it's like, hey, man, they got a good basketball team. Hey, they got a good football team. And so, I mean, I can wear Liberty gear anywhere in town. And people want to talk about the Liberty Flames.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we love you all. We love this team. We will be back. Mark my words. Well, for Chad, for John, for Will, it's been an honor doing these pre and post game shows for ASUN Red. Until next time, go Flames.